Consent agenda, the minutes.
Morning. Morning.
Will we approve? We have a member of the public here. Okay, Jay moves to approve. Second?
One modification, and then just on the April 11th, I was not here for the last action item, I had to step out that
Duly noted. Motion to approve and seconded. You have a motion? Second? Second. All those in favor? Motion passes. Okay, I'll go back to the public comment. Anybody that want to make public comment?
Sure.
State your name, please.
Yes, sir. Why not? Hello, my name's Wes White. I'm Salinas, fourth generation Salinian, and I do a YouTube channel. Anything I'm feeling positive, and I follow a lot of civic public meetings, and just post the whole thing from beginning to end. And then that way, you know, nothing can really be taken out of context. You know, he said, she said, well, this is what happened. So that's what I like to do. And I would ask that, you know, if you set it up on Zoom or whatever, and this is for all public meetings, is kind of what I try to do, is get more public engagement. You know, you are a public agency to a degree, which means outreach and communication. So doing it by Zoom would make me go away. But I'll probably be here, like, you know, try to keep up with your meetings that I try to do around a couple of counties. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately. I'm usually earlier than this.
Hey, maybe we'd like to see you here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, report from the president. That's not yet down here. He's not here. Let's go to, let's see, there was nothing yet. Let's go to the treasurer.
Treasurer, really nothing to report. The only thing is I texted Greg this morning as far as we haven't received the second installment yet on our assessments. Second assessments are paid with the second property taxes in April, and then usually it takes a month or two for us to get them. I was looking last year, we got them in July, which I think was unusually late, so I'd expect right about now we should be able to get them from the city. So Greg's going to follow up with Michael, the city, to hopefully get the second installment paid. That is it.
What's the ratio of the amounts that you get from the first installment?
I think it's a 3-to-1. It's like 75% comes in the first. Maybe 2/3 to 1/3.
Okay.
So most people pay the property taxes in December.
Like a lump sum?
In lump sum, and so we get the bulk of them then, and then the stragglers. And then there will be a third one that we need to request in another month or two for all the late payers. So, and that's usually a pretty small amount. But I would say put on that on the calendar to inquire as far as unpaid assessments too.
Do we have any
Great.
of our members that have not paid or have been, I know we had
That's
some.
what I'm saying, so we need to inquire, it's been a while for
Yeah,
unpaid
we
assessments.
should probably check
Yeah.
that.
Get a
We'll do it.
list
I've
for
got a
next,
report.
for next meeting.
If I remember, we gave up on the federal government post office and
We
decided
keep it on the roll, but, I mean, they still get billed, but
they
the
never paid.
expectation that they'll pay is, there's no expectation for them to pay,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Let's go to district coordinator.
Sure. I don't know if you guys know, but some of my time has been taken up with more trash. We love trash. And so we're just coordinating, getting the dumpsters cleaned out behind Patria. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of news because I don't want to let Audrey give some of the good news. But other than that, things are just rocking and rolling. We submitted a few grants. They're in progress. I hate to say it, but it's kind of status quo right now. So it's everything's moving along.
And the banners, you got the banners, that was good. The transition between that and some approval, which is good, yeah.
Do you want to talk about banners?
You can, yeah.
Okay, the banners are current, everybody's up current with installment, paying the installation costs. Next banners coming in after Hometown Heroes is gonna be the Salinas Valley Health, and those banners have been submitted to the city for approval. Hopefully we'll get those back, and in July, Salinas Valley Health will go up and be installed.
Questions, anybody?
Public comment?
No, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the updates, district identity.
All right.
Monterey?
Yes, hi. So we have city approval, everyone's approval for the mural of Petria. So it is happening. We are
Hey.
scheduling with our artist, Evo Stay Soul. So excited to get that one going. So we're hoping in July, late July, to start that project, which is a big deal. And we are trying to move forward still with the Fox Theater mural. We got hung up on historic review because the artist that we would like to work with, she has some people coming in, some pretty amazing artists from Europe, but they're only here for the end of July to the beginning, mid of August. So to fast track that, we chose to take the gamble and have the encroachment permit reviewed at the same time as historic review to hopefully get that done so that we can have the mural started and we get these amazing artists to actually do the work. And then we also got owner approval for the alleyway mural right by, what is it, California?
Cali Lizzie?
Cali Lizzie.
I think they're gone.
Cali Dog, yeah, I think
I
they're
haven't
gone
seen that
now.
sign anymore.
But the alley right there, as you walk through, we're gonna do that really cool mural where you have the glass that's upside down. And so somebody can walk into it, a little interactive Instagram moment. We have approval from the owner to do that. So now we need to get going with the city. So a lot has kind of been moving forward on that. We've got to meet with United Way and talk with them about their murals and their project and get involved with that, which was really exciting to stay in the know and then to be involved in something else really cool downtown. Things are moving forward, as you heard, with the banners, which is great. I'm trying to think of anything. I've reached out to Yosel about a month ago. We always had visions of doing like a concert in the alley. Ideally, now that we're starting the project, it'd be great to do that after, and so have the kids put on a little concert right there in the alley with candles and do something really fun. So we can start revisiting that again once the mural is done. And that'll be one of our active projects. And Greg, you want to talk about the First Friday and us moving forward with that a little bit more? Because that was something pretty cool.
Yeah, so on First Fridays for the last 2 months, we've actually been paying artists to do a live painting from about 5:30, 6 o'clock to like 8, 8:30 for a couple of hours to do a live painting demonstration between the Cherry Bean and Heirloom Pizza. In May, it was G. Sombrano, and in June, it was Lee Abelena. I always mess up his last name, but he goes by Basic Lee on like Instagram or whatnot, and they're both local artists that do a lot of murals. G is part of La Neta mural group, and Lee, I don't think he's affiliated with anybody, but anyway, he did some really cool paintings, and if you guys want to see the first one, it's actually hanging at the Cherry Bean, right when you first walk in the door, first painting on the right-hand side on the brick wall. So the second one is currently in my garage because I need to return it and find another merchant or vendor that wants to hang it in their building. So we can kind of show it off and you know, kind of see, and hopefully, if we continue this, it will increase the draw to the 300 block and increase some pedestrian foot traffic there and just extend the First Friday fun that's kind of happening already in the 200 block. So, yeah.
We've also started moving forward on some marketing downtown. We're gonna have a kind of live, work, play campaign put together. Mag One Media is helping us with that. And we're gonna get people living downtown, kind of walking around and showcasing how cool it is to be downtown. And how you can definitely live, work, and play here. And then highlighting a lot of the new restaurants, shops, and how cool it is to be downtown right now.
Nice.
Can I just elaborate a little bit? Audrey mentioned the United Way Mural Project, just so you all know, it's actually using this building on the side of our impact center that faces Midtown Lane. And so we're envisioning having a series of panels all the way down the lane. So just to give you a point in geography of where that is, we're hoping to have that go up.
Well, maybe there's like a little package too you could get to us, and then we can spread out to our network of more people who may want to buy ammo and things like that too.
Okay, great. So we're fundraising and also really wanting to include as many local artists as possible. We have a couple of anchor artists already set up, and then there's lots more wall space. So that's what that's about, and I can follow up with more information. Thank you.
The Mac One Media, what are you thinking as far as doing these interviews, and then how is that getting, that TV ads?
We're gonna do some
social
TV
media?
ads, social media ads, that's the intent of it. And that's it for me.
That's it? Okay, sidewalk operation, SOBO committee. Joel's not here.
Joel's off.
Joel's done.
Amy, are you taking it over?
I will.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, but I'm happy
What's
to.
your,
Where's your report?
Happy to take it over. I'll definitely need to meet with Greg and Greg so that we
Yep.
can figure out like what my responsibilities are, or what you guys are looking for, right? So that I can make sure I can fulfill that. I mean, I'm downtown, the house is downtown, I walk downtown every day. I shoot the loop twice a day down to the Steinbeck Center. And then I walk to the post office every day, so that, just so that I can do my business, and then I pick everything apart, and then I call Ray. That's sort of how that works already.
I visited Joel, and he said he'd be happy to get together with you.
Okay.
If you had any expedited way to do business where it won't be so
I'll make sure
impactful.
to call him as well.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had a lady on this committee yet, so I like that.
Well, great.
You'll be after cleanliness and orderliness.
Didn't you run the first one, Frank?
Pardon me?
Didn't you run the first one?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty particular. I think our Cooper is back.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was in front of my office
Michael?
door the other
Oh,
day.
lovely.
Michael?
Mhm.
Martinez.
Yeah, because I came the day to the office and I was like, oh my goodness. So we had to get that cleaned up. It was like 7:30 in the morning or
Yeah.
something, but yeah, I was like, oh, he's back.
We'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
So then, we'll probably no report for today then, next month.
yeah, unless you
So-
wanted to update on the trees
Unless you
and
wanted to
the
report.
outlets,
Yeah.
right?
We are running a test. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year we put a really nice stainless steel box in front of Heirloom because the box got broken up, but that box was about $500 all in. And considering we have like 40 or 50 outlets to do, that was somewhat cost prohibitive. So we're looking at alternate ways of controlling access to the power outlets. As you may remember, we've already added a photovoltaic sensor, light sensor, to include all those electrical circuits in. So when it's dark, that's when they turn on for the lights, otherwise they're dead. But I think that also showed a lot of frustration from some of our transient population that ripped open all of the boxes trying to find more power outlets. But anyway, we were trying to do 2 trees in front of Alvarado Brewing Company, armored PVC cable that goes from the box all the way up the tree about 10 to 12 feet, and actually there's a really big tree there, so that one went all the way up to 20 feet. So we now have 2 trees that are armored cable with an outlet way above, reaching unless they feel like climbing the trees. So let's not encourage that.
I'll give them any ideas.
So we'll see how that goes. We're waiting on the invoice back to see what the cost on that will be, because we did this as a T&M, time and material job, to kind of see what it would be, because we weren't sure what the bid would go for. I'll report back when I get the bill and report if there's any issues with the PVC cable.
I'd be curious if this is a grant funds expense too.
We
Let's
can
talk about that.
That's it?
Okay, let's move on to land use committee.
Yeah, hey.
Jason?
Yeah, so we had a land use committee meeting last month, and we finally got a representative from the city there, which was good. So Lisa Britton participated, and part of the reason we wanted her there was to give us an update on that parking structure, that the city-county joint structure that has been talked about at the corner there by the county administrative offices for a long time. Is it Gavelland there?
North of the courts.
Yeah, so this structure has a long history. It started out with this MOU between the city and county that they signed a few years ago, and then that MOU included a bunch of milestones that they needed to meet. So the city and county, pursuant to that MOU, they set up a committee, and they had been meeting pretty regularly, but frankly, based on what Lisa said, it seems like it's been on the back burner a bit. County got a new CAO, and then the city now has their new city manager, and so I think they're gonna meet again, and it sounded like we kind of reminded her about it, so it like triggered her, okay, well, I guess we gotta get that committee started again to start discussing it, because I don't think anything's really happened or moved for 6-7 months, maybe longer. They initially, both the city and county had allocated $300,000 each to like the planning effort, to do some feasibility analyses and study the financial feasibility of it, and then it seems to have just kind of died. Apparently there was a recommendation that the county be the lead on the structure because they have bonding capacity, so it sounds like it might be in the county's court, but they're still collaborating to try to see what they can do to move that thing forward. So I think we just need to stay on them and try to get at least in these meetings and have her give us regular updates and see if there's any hope that that thing will ever get built. They gotta figure out the financing side. They're not cheap, everybody knows that, so. The one interesting thing she said in the context of parking solutions was, for the first time, I don't know if anybody else has heard this, that she said something about demolishing the police station and then doing some of the surface parking there in place of the police station, but who knows how long that could take. I mean, there could be asbestos, and that thing is so old. And the county, just to renovate their courthouse or whatever, to fill that building with offices took years and years, because they have to do that kind of remediation before they can demo things.
It's kind of like the city doing their little project, City
Yeah.
Hall.
Yeah, well, yeah,
The demolition,
It goes on forever.
the
yeah,
demolition of a police building will be interesting, because it's one full of asbestos.
yeah.
There was a shooting range in the basement, so there's lead. That's gonna take a lot of money to remediate. Well, what prompted some of the added discussion from Lisa is, I said, well, what happens when Tater Farms does conclude their negotiations for acquiring the parking lot north of City Hall, which is where the employees now think they're gonna park forever, as well as the parking lot across the street from City Hall. And that's going to, those two parking lots are going to be developed by Tater Farms. The city has agreed, they're just going through, as Steve said at the last board meeting, there's issues with, excuse me, to the legal description, but they're going to get that worked out, and Tater's going to proceed to develop those two lots, so it's going to really, it's going to add some interesting dynamic to whatever's going to go on.
Well, it might have a bit of an impact on the Monterey Street garage.
Yeah.
The only way they're gonna fill up that Monterey Street garage is if they start enforcing parking regulations in the downtown, and that, they haven't done that, and
No.
I don't know when they will, but that's the only way these things become financially feasible.
Yep.
You've got to have enforcement. I was in Monterey,
Crisis helps.
I was on the wharf yesterday in Monterey, and those people are on it. I mean, that little
Yeah.
parking citation writer is everywhere. And this gal doesn't miss a car, you know, and it's like, man, she's writing tickets all day long. I can't
They got a
even
good
imagine.
system there.
It's a system, and they collect too.
Would it make sense for us to ask for a dedicated parking person? And depending on what the cost for that would be for our downtown?
I don't know, it's-
Is that something that we want to open up, or?
I mean, based off of the city's budget of
Well,
having a deficit, that's hard.
I think this board, if we want to be effective, we've got to start meeting with the members of the council, the mayor, number one, the mayor, and then maybe one or two of the council at a time. And just a couple of us, like we used to do. I mean, Fred DeYoung and I, and Catherine, and Joel, and Peter, we would meet with them, just a couple of them at a time. And you get a much better sense of where they're coming from, their politics a little bit, than if you meet them all or you talk in front of the council, you know, and nobody wants to say anything. But you get them alone, then you start to understand where each of them are coming from, and I think we can make better progress. We really have to have some interaction. And now we have a new city manager, so that even makes it that much more important.
Well, how many parking spaces are being displaced with that lot being demolished?
Lot 12?
Yeah.
Gosh.
About 200.
Yeah, it was
It's a
over
big
200.
So where are they going to go?
Well, it's not full. It's not full.
Oh, no.
They're
Yeah.
barely using it even
Oh, I see.
as we
And the
speak.
same thing with Lot 8, that's like 100 something, and actually less than that. And that's barely used either, actually, you know, so there can be some compacting.
I was thinking that might force some usage into the Monterey Street garage, but not significant then.
Well, as long as there's free parking on the main streets, I don't think that's gonna happen, or at least
Unenforced.
unenforced, thank you, parking on the main streets, Monterey Street's not gonna fill up.
I think that Steve and, you know, one or two of us
Yeah,
have to meet with the new city manager.
I agree.
ASAP.
Yeah, because he's
This
gonna
thing-
be developing his priorities too, and that's
And
something
he's-
we heard from Lisa as well, and as we talked about, we still brought up the parking management district and trying to do a study to figure out feasibility of that. And she said, well, at this point, there's nothing budgeted, and, you know, it's really gonna be up to the city manager, they're gonna drive the priorities. So I think the sooner we can, I agree with you, Frank, the sooner we can get in front of him, the better, to try to
Maybe
get an
the-
agenda across.
It would be cool to have the mayor and the city manager.
Yeah, well,
In
Kimberly's,
one meeting.
she's on her way out,
She's
right?
on her way out,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's important, and then maybe we could get Renee here. I mean, I don't know, he's probably pretty bogged down and having a lot of meetings, and he's a pretty busy guy, but it'd be great to get him at a board meeting. I mean, we're right here.
I would suggest including Audrey, is that if I understand things from discussions with Steve, you are going to probably become the next president. Is that somewhat?
I didn't know that.
All right.
There you go.
Well, I don't know.
Usually you get,
I know Frank said ain't no way.
It's happening right there.
And Frank said ain't no way, but
Yeah.
We'll discuss that, I think.
well, maybe Steve can try to coordinate. I mean, I don't know if he's got a good relationship with Renee. I mean, I knew him when he was at Gonzalez. And,
I have a good
Well,
one.
maybe you should meet with them, Jason.
well, I was thinking we get an invite here so we can, you know,
Yeah.
talk to him and he can introduce himself to the board. I mean, I think he'd want to do that.
I'm okay with that, I just think you get better
Yeah,
results from.
I agree. So maybe we do the one-on-one first, then at that meeting, we
There you go.
invite him to come to our board meeting.
It'd be nice to maybe meet like even quarterly, so for example, like the chamber meets with them typically once a month, just like a short meeting, and it's the exec committee only that will meet. But, and maybe even just the exec committee here, or just meet with them, if not once a month, because that's a lot sometimes to ask, but even once a quarter, just to maybe go in and still have that face-to-face. I feel so
Spread it around a little bit. It can be the city manager one time, it could be a member of the council or the mayor. Yeah.
So once a month, meet with somebody particularly, make sure to meet with that finance manager at least once every quarter, but then like during the time that you're off not meeting him, meet with the city council, the mayor, you know, obviously not to have an issue with the Brown Act, so you have to make sure that we're not having too many people that are there.
Well, do you want to take the lead and set it up then, Renee?
I'm happy
You
to.
want to do that?
Yeah.
I'd love to attend, yeah, just like, well, maybe maybe a few of us, I don't know. Maybe you and, I don't know, Frank or Steve. I don't think we need like 10 people there, but
Yeah,
Like,
no,
we'll just talk to them.
just a couple
Yeah,
of them.
right. And I'm happy to participate, so you can, if you talk to him, then you can shoot me an email or something.
Okay.
And we can try to
Okay.
sit down, maybe just include Frank and Steve too, just.
Yeah,
we just-
and he's a former United Way board member, so.
Oh, yeah, so
Go
good.
forward with him. Okay.
Good. So just a couple other things from that meeting with Lisa. They're still going through their general plan update process, and so they've been doing these workshops and study sessions. They've had meetings in the community to talk about the different elements that are gonna be in the general plan, like there's a housing element, there's a environmental justice element, public safety. So they've been having meetings in the community, and I think they've also been having study sessions before the council too. And I'm pretty sure she said that the next study session, which is going to be at the council level, is going to be on June 18th. And that's, the focus of that is going to be on the economic development element, which is a pretty important element that they first adopted, I want to say, like, what, 10 years ago, Peter, when they adopted the economic development element? I think they've got a new, she said they got a new senior economic development manager, a guy named Houston Pullman is his name. He's new. He's got a bunch of work with, he's done a bunch of work with the SBA and some other, like she was raving about him and said he's a great addition to the city. And I'm looking forward to working with him. He's kind of spearheading like the economic development element discussion. But that could be a good one to attend, you know, that council session. Because obviously economic development is critical for a thriving downtown area. What else? And then he said June 25th, they're going to be having a discussion about rent stabilization ordinance. So that's coming down the pipeline. Apparently they hired EPS, which is like an economic consulting firm, to do a technical analysis about rent stabilization. And I think they're looking at different jurisdictions in California, and they're presenting a bunch of data to the council on June 25th. They might even be considering a draft ordinance. So that's big, you know.
Yeah,
Rent
it's
control
huge.
of the city, yeah. And the city of Monterey is going down that path, and pretty soon it's gonna be everywhere around here, so just be on the lookout. And I think that's all I had. I don't know, there are some other folks here that were at that land use committee meeting, so if you have anything else to add, feel free to share. That's my report.
Thank you, Jason.
Sure.
Public comment?
I'll pass.
Okay,
Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody has any questions? Otherwise, we'll adjourn.
Well,
Good job.
Good job.
These meetings are getting
It's really efficient,
pretty
Frank.
efficient
There
here.
you go.
It's work.
July 11th, next meeting.
Next meeting is July 11th.
And